Ah, Premier League football. It's long been valued by fans around the world for its ability to capture our imagination by providing some of the most prolific and skillfully awesome players that money can buy. Sometimes these players are so talented, they capture the heart and soul of their respective supporters. To the point where, sometimes fans begin debating for years, decades, even centuries. Well, not really. Over which players are the GOATs in their respective positions. And despite this being extremely toxic and unhealthy at times, it is fun nonetheless. And today, I'd like to kindly open the door to one of the more recent topics between perhaps the two best wingers the Premier League has ever seen in Eden Hazard and Mohamed Salah. Now, full disclosure, I am a Liverpool fan, but that does not change the fact that the best way to look at any debate really is to look at it from a subjective and objective standpoint. So in this video, that is going to be my goal. I'm going to look at everything from a statistics standpoint, from an eye test standpoint, and then also just general opinions about it. Because that's ultimately what these debates end up being, isn't it? Opinions based on statistics and things we've seen. That's really all it is. And this should foster healthy debate, guys. All right, I'm excited to get into this, so let's do it. Now, what I'd like to do first is just start with the eye test for Eden Hazard, and then we'll move to Mo Salah, and we'll talk about statistics at the end, okay? Now, there's no doubt in anybody's mind that Eden Hazard, without a doubt, one of the most athletic, fluid, and prolific wingers in the Premier League era. I mean, he just glides past players. I mean, it's remarkable to watch him play, at least in his prime, before his fall down with Madrid, but we're not talking about that. The guy was flat out talented, and Jose Mourinho, Klopp, Pep Guardiola all sung praises for the guy. I mean, thinking back to just some of the goals that I've watched this guy score, I remember watching the goal against West Ham where he dribbles past the entire team and the bench to get the ball in the net, and just thinking to myself, wow, this guy is absolutely phenomenal. And if I'm looking at it strictly from an athleticism standpoint, Eden Hazard, I think, is more agile and athletic than Mo Salah. Where I think Mo Salah kind of cuts into the lead a little bit is his directness. They're two different styles of player. Eden Hazard definitely has that finesse aspect, whereas Mo Salah is really more of a hybrid of a modern winger and a traditional winger. Whereas Eden Hazard will try to get around you. Mo Salah has this directness to just go through you, go by you. But where he also thrives is his ability to hold up, at least in the system that Jurgen Klopp plays. So with all that out of the way, I give Eden Hazard the eye test win, strictly because he's the kind of athlete I like to see on the football pitch. He's agile, he's quick, not to say Mo Salah's not quick, but I'm giving this one to Eden Hazard. But now the stuff that really matters. The statistics. Now, of course, it is very easy to say you cannot compare the statistics of two players that aren't playing at the same time or across different eras, and I completely understand that. That's a common case in point with Michael Jordan and LeBron James. However, statistics are something that encompass both time and space. They allow you to look at both players on one platform, one field. Now, of course, this is all from the beginning of the 92-93 season. That's what we're using as the all-time Premier League statistics. But before I even delve into any of that, let's just take a look at the first season that each player spent at their respective club. I know Mo Salah had a stint at Chelsea and it was very poor. I get it. We're taking it from the clubs that they became established at. So, with that in mind, let's look at Eden Hazard's first season. First season with the club in the Premier League, Eden Hazard had 9 goals for Chelsea adapting to the Premier League, where Mo Salah, guess what he had? 32 goals in his breakout season, which really put him on the map as like, holy crap, this guy's good. Now, A lot of people said Mo Salah was going to be a one-season wonder, and a lot of us Liverpool fans kind of thought that too, to be honest. Again, it comes back to the eye test for me. I'm watching Mo Salah, and I'm thinking to myself, this man is just a really good finisher, right? Can he create on his own, right? To me, it didn't seem like that. Watching Eden Hazard, I'm like, this guy can dribble one end of the pitch to the other. But then I took a look at Mo Salah over the years. Mo Salah has that same exact ability. Now it's in a different system. It's a lot of counter-attacking stuff. Maybe he's not dribbling around players, but he's dribbling past players. He's going between players. The man can get through defenses. Now, just to start off kind of easy to understand, right? Now, if we're looking at all-time goals, right? We talked about the first season, Mo Salah adapted well, but if we're looking at all-time goals, right? Non-penalty goals for me that's a big stat that people need to look at. And also minutes per goal, all right? These are all little easy measurements to kind of gauge how effective the person was on the pitch, not just like, oh, goals and assists. Now, I want to be clear, this is for forwards, right? Okay, this is for forwards and wingers, okay? It takes out midfielders and stuff like that. That's how I filtered it. So if you guys do see a mistake, let me know. According to Transfermarkt, all-time list, right? Mo Salah sits 12th, 144 Premier League goals, sitting behind the likes of Alan Shearer, Harry Kane, Wayne Rooney, Andy Cole, Sergio Aguero, Thierry Henry, Jermaine Defoe, Robbie Fowler, Michael Owen, Les Ferdinand, and Teddy Sheringham. Take a wild guess where Eden Hazard is on this list. 43rd, bro. Man has 85 goals, but it's in 245 appearances. This is what blows my mind. You think of Eden Hazard and Mo Salah, and you hear about it as them both being these equal playing players. And then you might say, oh, but Eden Hazard is a better playmaker, creator. Mo Salah of the wingers has 68 assists in those 239 Premier League games. Eden Hazard has 61. Guys, these are the stats that don't lie. Another thing I want to bring up about these two is the minutes per goal, right? How long were they on the pitch before they generally scored in the Premier League? Mo Salah is at 135 minutes, okay? That's not goal contributions, that's goals. Eden Hazard, 229. Okay, that's lower than Raheem Sterling, mind you. Now, I don't know how they filtered this, but I gotta give a shout out to Stuart Downing. Somehow made the top of the list, and not in a good way. The man had a minutes per goal rate of 881 with 408 appearances. Shout out to Stuart Downing. Now, just to give you guys a comparison, Eden Hazard statistically, you guys are gonna hate me for this, is more comparable to Riyad Mahrez.
What?
You're sitting there like, yeah, what? But that's the truth. Riyad Mahrez, guys, okay, in 284 appearances, he has 82 goals. Remember, Eden Hazard has 85 and 65 assists. Guys, that's more than Eden Hazard. I want everyone to take that in for a second because nobody has Riyad Mahrez in this conversation, but on paper, using these statistics, he's actually more closely related to Eden Hazard than Mo Salah is. So I don't know where the comparison comes from between Eden Hazard and Mo Salah, because there are tons of other wingers in the Premier League that fall on a level playing field statistically with Eden Hazard. In the minutes per goal thing, like I said, Eden Hazard doesn't even come close. Mo Salah is in the top 6. He's sitting at 6 currently, behind the likes of Van Nistelrooy, Harry Kane, Thierry Henry, Sergio Aguero, and yep, believe it or not, Erling Haaland. Now, Erling Haaland, in his short stint in the Premier League, has been an enigma. This guy is unbelievable statistically. 44 goals in 43 appearances is remarkable. Is it going to slow down? Who knows? But he's at the top of the list, 79 minutes per goal, where you look at the likes of the names that Mo Salah is up here with. I mean, look at the names he's in front of for minutes per goal. Luis Suarez, Van Persie, Edin Dzeko slept on. Daniel Sturridge is up here, dude. There are great names in this list. And guess who's nowhere near it? Now, like I said, I know I'm nitpicking statistics here, but when I look at a player's impact on the pitch, I'm looking at how often do you score, how much do you score, what are your points total, and all those things. To me, at this point in time, it is a very clear answer. There might be certain aspects of this where Eden Hazard is better than Mo Salah. And to me, it is really the athletic standpoint, from the agility and the fluidity of movement, maybe touch, those sorts of things, technical ability. But when it comes to production, when it comes to just absolute dog, it's Mo Salah. Although this debate will never end, the fact remains that there are objective measures we can look at to compare these two, and I hope that you guys got something out of the comparisons today. Because in doing this research, it really did stand out to me that if you look at just goals and assists, you might say, oh, it's definitely Mo Salah. And then you look at the other things like minutes per goal and points total and comparisons to other players and the similar appearances, it might be Mo Salah too. All right, I gotta stop. There are always two ways to look at every debate, and it's healthy to do so you guys can form a well-rounded opinion of who you think might be the better player. So let me know down in the comments who you do think is the better player, why, and maybe anything that I might have missed that would sway my opinion. Thank you guys for tuning into this video, and until next time, Reds, take care.